This is part 2 of my video. My memory run out. People want to know, how do you know which one's more powerful out of all these amplifiers? How do you know? And I go, guys, it's as simple as pie. This is all you got to do. Starting with that duck sauce. Run you a 40 hertz test tone off use the same equipment. Now, when I say the radio, your battery supply, the battery power, make sure it's the same. Make sure your batteries are charged up. Play a 40 hertz test tone. And I'm talking clean power. I'm not talking the clipping. Let's talk clean power here, which is what you want to be running, not clip power. Clean power, when you check it off that 40 hertz test tone off of that your head unit, you make sure your head unit's clean at 40 hertz. You adjust your amplifier to be clean at 40 hertz on the output on your speaker leads. Okay, once you get that set and you have your bass knob all the way up, when you set all this, play that test track and switch your meter over to, and there, we're not talking about loaded in the amplifier. We're talking about just straight off the amp. And when you load the amplifiers, the numbers are going to be the same as they would on another amp loaded. They're not going to change. It's just going to be based off the impedance that it sees. So if you take your voltmeter and you hook it up here to AC voltage, and I'm just going to give you some roundabout numbers. Say this duck sauce puts out 70 volts AC. That's how much power your speaker's going to see. Okay? Technically. There's a lot of technicalities here, but that's the way it works. All right? Just say this surge puts out, I'm just going to throw a number, say 60 volts AC. Which one do you think is going to be more powerful? Do you think 70 volts AC is going to be more powerful than 60? I hope the answer would be yes. That's how it works. Bruce Lee. I've seen the numbers on this amp at 105 volts AC clean, with way more to go. I had 3 witnesses standing there. 105 volts out of this. I know what it puts out. I know what all these put out, every one of them, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you which one. I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing is checking your own shit, comparing it to somebody else's. That's what you need to do to see what's really got the balls. Okay? So when I say this thing will do 5K, you damn right it'll do 5K. But here's where people don't get it. Well, I'd rather buy that. That's fine if that's what you want to do. But all you're doing is spending more out of your pocketbook to you can make twice as much power almost with this amplifier right here. And it's $20 more than that. This is what I don't understand. All right. That's a $129 amp over there. At 16 volts, that amplifier do about 2K. All right. It's built very well. Is it worth $129 for 2K? Hell yeah. But I would rather spend a little bit more right here. Just a little bit. And this is going to kill that. It's not even going to be close. You're talking probably 3,500 watts to 4,000 right here. It's not even close. And it'll do it at 14. I ain't even run it to 16 yet, and I know what it does. Because you can take the numbers with your voltmeter, volts AC, hook it to the speaker output leads, and check the AC voltage on it. If this one puts out 80 volts AC and that one puts out 40, I hate to tell you, this is twice as strong as that amplifier. Period. That is continuous power, not dynamic, continuous power. And any RTARD knows that if it has a variable output, it's going to let that thing keep going. If it's going to make more dynamic power, that's how it's going to do. It's going to keep letting it make more and more power. If it has the capacitance, enough capacitance in this amplifier, any of these amplifiers, to produce more at a burst, and your capacitance can store more energy, it's going to release it quicker, and it's going to build up quicker. That's what it all boils down to when you talk dynamic numbers. That and impedance numbers. That's what causes it. So what I look at is I look at continuous numbers on a tone, which is going to draw your capacitors down all the way. That's what it does. Instead of letting it go, release, build up, release, build up, release. And that's what happens when you work, you get scars on your hand. Release, build up, release, build up. That's what dynamic is. It's just letting your capacitors charge up and release energy. So if you want to know the true balls of your amplifier, check continuous power with a voltmeter on the speaker output leads of these amplifiers. The higher the number AC voltage, the more powerful the amp's going to be. It is so simple. People making this so hard. Soy sauce. I'm going to say this amp makes about 3K, but it's got a lot of options. It's built extremely well. Way better than I thought. It is very heavy, but it costs more money. Okay? Fried rice right here. I'm not sure the exact voltage now. I've done so many, but I want to say this one was close to 80. Which, like I said, if that puts out 105 and does 5K on music, this right here is going to do 4,000 watts. I'm pretty sure this was rated. This is the only one that I had changed out of any of these amplifiers. I did not change any of the ratings out of any of these amplifiers except this one right here and a Golden Dragon. Okay, what I did here, this was a 4,500 watt amplifier. I rated it 4K. Guess what? You get more bang for your buck because you're technically buying a 4,500 watt amplifier. The good part is it don't have dual inputs on the battery, but it gives you 2 volt. All right, so it doesn't have to have dual runs to it to make that kind of power. All right, Tare amps. This thing right here has dual 2 volt runs. You have to run 2 dual volts, and this thing pulls 1,200 amps of current. This is a power whore. It loves power, but it'll put power out too. And I want to say clean on this one with not enough battery at all was, I think, 157 volts. But like I said, there wasn't enough power here. That was, I believe, at 14 volts. So if you put 16 to it and you do that math, those numbers are going to go up because the capacitors in here need a bunch of energy. There just wasn't enough energy to feed this amplifier. It wasn't running on 2 volt, none of that stuff. This amp right here will make great power, but it's just a different category as these because this amp's a full range amplifier. It's made to make its power in a bigger area versus these are, just say like that duck sauce. It's rated to do its power between, I think, don't quote me, I'd have to look back at the book. I believe it's between 10 hertz and 180. It's a bass amp. It's not made to do no power above 180 hertz, I hate to tell you. It's made to make its power down low, and that's where it does it at. It fucking gets down. I've done run the shit. I've run this. All kinds of amplifiers, guys, a bunch. I have ran, you can't even imagine how many amplifiers. This is just what I've been testing lately. Okay? But what you need to do when you read the owner's manual, if you know how to read your owner's manual, which is what I tell you nobody does, and see where this amp is supposed to make its power at. This is supposed to make 12K between 20 hertz and I believe 20,000. That's just, don't quote me on it, I have to look. But I know it's a full range, and normally that's where they are. 20 to 20,000. Because it's a full range amplifier to play from the lows to the highs. Whatever you want to play, that thing will play it. That's what it's made to do. I think, like on this Team Pie, which is a soy sauce, used to be the same thing basically as an EMF audio. He even showed you the difference between, say, a Tare amp and a bass amp, where it makes its power and doesn't lose power down at the lower frequencies because it's made to run low. When you get up higher range, this loses, and the Tare amps would gain, but the Tare amps would lose down low. It wasn't a bass amp. It was a full range only amp. That's when they come out with the bass line and all that. They're different, guys. I hate to tell you. All the bass amps that I have, every one of them, are made to play low, except this one. And this one is bulletproofed and had upgrades done to it. I don't know why my phone's jerking, but anyway, I wanted to explain how you get your power numbers and how you would know out of all these. Just say, for example, out of every one of these amps, let's just take this one out of the subject. This is a big amp. Let's just say all those amps right there put together, and somebody said, hey, which one's the most powerful? We would hook it up in their system, and I would hook it up in their car, that what they had, because that's what's going to make the difference, what they have. So if a guy's got a 12 volt system, not excluding this one, I'm going to pick the amp that's less power hungry. That would be the most efficient amplifier. That's where efficiency would come into play. So if they had a 14 volt system, you know, their alternators running, they're running at 14.1, I'd say, okay, how much kind of power are you looking for? Man, I'm looking for 2,000 or 3,000 watts. I'm going to say, okay, let's try these right here, all these three. Even I would include the precision power, because they're going to be like, well, I'm going to say, dude, here's the deal. If you got 14 volts and you got a little puny alternator and you don't have no battery, and you start pulling on that thing, you know, you start really giving her the beans, these amps are going to be more power hungry. That's just how it works. They're not efficient amplifiers. They're made for bass heads that's got unlimited power supplies. That's what this is for. That's why I said the dyno is not fair. It really isn't at all, because it's not a real world scenario. So if a guy's got that and he's got a puny alternator up front, no battery, I'm going to say run that. He's going to say, why? I'm going to say, because you don't want your headlights dimming, do you? You don't want to be killing your alternator, do you? You don't want to be killing your electrical system, do you? And I would be honest with them. I wouldn't try to say, get mine. I'd say, get that. That's why I do this stuff, to prove a point. Now, if somebody said, man, I want a cool bass knob and I want to make about the same power as that hair pie, I'm going to say, buy the soy sauce. You're going to pay more money for it. If you want to strap your amplifier, I'd say, buy that soy sauce. If you want a gray amplifier and you want to go for looks, I'd say, buy a Surge Audio. There's nothing wrong with that amp. I told you I'm going to run all these. I'm going to run every one of these amps in a bass vehicle. That way somebody can't come up here one day and go, oh, I'm going to bust his ass. He's got 6 PPI amps in his car. I'll say, yeah, you might beat me that day at the show. You probably going to demo way better than me. But I'm going to be demoing all day. And my shit ain't going to be getting hot like yours, frying like an egg. Because I ain't going to have a whole bunch of power. I'm going to have all the juice it can handle going to that amplifier, and it's going to be running cool. Because guess what? It's efficient. Big D did tell you that's an efficient amplifier, didn't he? Yeah. That's where that comes into play. But the next time I go to a show, I might run up with about 6 Bruce Lees in there, and you're going to get your damn feelings hurt. I'm going to tell you, flat out, you're going to hate it when you see it. You're going to be like, holy shit, this son of a bitch is telling the truth. Because I have nothing to lie about. I have nothing to gain or lose. I don't need money from anybody. I don't need anything. I do this as for fun and to try to help the poor people, the people that don't have the money to go in. How many times does this happen when you go into the shop and they'll sell you some shit and it really ain't what you need? They just sell it to you because you said, hey man, I like 212s. Well, they'll see the highest price 12s they got. Like, okay, we're going to sell you them 12s over there. We're going to charge you $700 a piece. And these little boys will buy it. And then they put it in their car and they put a little puny ass amp on them and they go, man, it just don't sound good, man. Something's not right. And they go, oh, well, see, what you really needed was, then since you got them bigger subs, you need a bigger amp. It's the old salesman game that every car shop has done from day one. How do I know? Because my best friend owned 2 shops. I worked there. I've seen it in person. It's the same old song, same old dance type deal that they all do. I've seen it a million times. Every place does it. That's why they have all different lines out there. But the famous one I always get is when they go, what's your budget look like? And the little boy go, oh man, I ain't got but $200. Oh, well, come over here and we'll buy you these 10s over here. And that'll get you going. They don't really, what they need to do is tell the little boy, say, look, man, if you don't have but $200, I wouldn't waste my $200 on none of this stuff right now. I'd wait till I got $400 and come back and see me and put something good in your car. That's what I would tell them. Have I turned people down before? Hell yeah. Absolutely. One of my buddies came over the other day and I had got him a Defbont sub through JP. And he ran it for about 2 years. He already had an amp. He already had his head unit. It was all wired wrong. I said, dude, I said, for the money, go ahead and get you a little bit better speaker than what he was going to get, which he was going to get the bottom of the barrel Defbont sub. And I said, don't do that. Get you something a little bit better. Spend a little bit more money. And actually, I gave him a little bit of money to get going. I gave him the wire for free, everything. Okay? And I went to my buddy's shop and got him a better box. He had a piece of shit box, and we got that cheap as dirt. And we done a video of it the other day. He finally cooked that sub after about 2.5, 3 years. But he's hard on it, man. I mean, he's hard on it. And I said, now that he's got a little bit more money, he said, what do I need to run? I said, that fried rice sub right there. And when we pulled it out of the box and I showed it to him, the comparison, it's not even a comparison. He was like, holy shit, that makes mine look like a tweeter. I said, yeah, I know. How much is that? I said, you want to laugh? Not much more than you paid for that damn Defbont sub. Holy shit, really? I said, yeah. We put that in there and it was night and day difference on the same amplifier. The That fried rice sub just has a lot more X-Max. It'll handle a lot of power, but it's an efficient sub. It moves easy. It's just built good. That's all I can tell you. You don't have to have a lot of power to get it to move. I mean, that's just how it is. It's a good built sub. But that's what I try to tell people, man. I said, is if you don't have the money to start doing this stuff, don't just go buy the cheapest thing that you can buy. Buy something that's cheap that will last you, that you can move up in your system if you want to later down the road. Like, I started out with one hair pie in that Scion the other day. It's been a couple months ago. And I run the hell out of it on 212s at half an ohm. I've already proved it to run at half an ohm. Then I threw in another skib bank in there. It's got 2 skib banks. I'm running 2 hair pies on 212s, which ran them at 1 ohm apiece. But they're getting plenty of juice. And man, I can make them 12s stink in less than a minute. I mean, they're going to start stinking. They're going to get up to 240, 250 quick, them coils. It ain't because the amp's dirty. It's because it's powerful. It's way more than them subs can handle. And I got them on 2 Monolith 12 Harmony Audios that I have put 10K on before. But they just won't last long, if you know what I'm saying. None of that. I told everybody that ever wants to deal with audio, I say, man, buy you a good speaker and electrical. That's what you want to really concentrate on. This stuff, it don't really matter, man. You can, like I said, go buy you 2 2Ks from the flea market. If they're both $30 a piece, go buy them, 2 of them. Do like I said, run your test. If one has AC voltage of 50 volts AC output and the other one has 20, I just hate to tell you that 50 AC voltage is going to be a stronger amplifier. You learned a lesson that day. I'm not going to sit here and tell you all that stuff. That's my business. That's my testing. I've done it. I've bought them. I've engineered them. I've ordered them. I've talked to build houses on what I need to get. Who the girls are is what matters, okay? But if you just want to see what the sizes of these things are, a tractor trailer is going to have more shit in it than a damn half-ton pickup truck. Does that make any sense to you? That's all I can tell you. I hope this helps everybody a little bit. I hope I'm not confusing you by any means. But shop around. Don't go by what, Mercedes used to be the king a long time ago. I wouldn't buy a Mercedes if you fucking give me one now, because they're shit. But that's why you see them old ones still running down the road, because they're good. Names don't mean nothing. That's why I put all these crazy names on here, to prove to you it's made in China. Every amp here is made in China. Every single one. Except they said the Precision Power is Korean. Is it? I've looked inside of it. Do you know? I know. Is that Brazilian one made in Brazil? I've looked inside of it. I know. A lot of this stuff has Chinese parts in it. Okay? And some has Korean parts in it. But to say something's 100% Korean, I'm going to call bullshit. And when I say I call bullshit, that means I already know the answer. So don't bet me on it. You'll lose. You guys take care. Have a good day. I thought I'd explain this. It was going to be a 2-part video. It cut me off on the first part. I just wanted to help you out and let you see with the comparisons of the sizes, what they do, and hopefully explain to you how to check to see how much power you got. It's just based off AC output. The more you can feed it, you're obviously going to get more output. But if you're feeding them both the same, or all these amps the same power, those numbers shouldn't matter. It's what they put out on the output that matters. Okay? You guys take care. Have a good day. And like I said, I'm here to help, not to hurt. We're going to be at the shows pretty soon. You can come up to listen to stuff, talk shit in my face, whatever you want to do. I don't care. But I want to sit here and tell you I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help the poor folks. And this is not for the rich people. Rich people don't care. I care. I've been the poor guy before. Okay? You guys take care and have a good day. Talk to you soon. See you.